Welcome to the Mobile Economy Podcast. Today we are talking about 5 tips for starting a business. As some people know, I have started multiple businesses. I'm a serial entrepreneur. Many of them have been in the tech space, but some of them have been in other businesses as well. And Mobiles, our company, works with about 700 different mobile food trucks and other service businesses. So we found a number of things that work across different industries and different mobile service providers, and wanted to bring you some of those quick tips here. So Patrick and I have compiled a good list of some items that will hopefully help your business get off the ground or help grow your existing business. So the first one is one we definitely agree on, is making sure whatever your product is, make sure it's the best. You know, if it's food or auto detailing, whatever your service or product is, the money will come if you put out a really good product.
Absolutely.
So make sure that you're putting out to the marketplace the very best product that you can, and business will come if you do that. Part of that same tip is I often found also that working with a business partner, sometimes when you try to do it alone, you're the one judging your own product. Whereas if you've got somebody else that is partner there with you, then they're able to be your check and balance, a second set of eyes, but you've got two people making sure that you're putting out a really good product or service and making sure that everything is just the best that it can be going out there. And
that makes sense.
Yep. And speaking of that, the next tip is when you do service, especially those first people, ask them to leave you a review. Whether it's it's on Google, Yelp, Facebook, whatever. If you give them really good service, ask them to post and give you a review. So many businesses do not ask for that review, and you'll be surprised how many people, when you ask them to leave you a review, will break out the phone, take a picture with you, hashtag whatever you want, and give you that review. So I mean, that's a very big tip to make sure that that person that has come and tried you out the first time becomes a fan.
Yeah,
So,
I know personally, I always check reviews on Amazon or Yelp or things if we're looking for a new restaurant, or even some of the old ones, just to kind of see that the quality has stayed the same, and to see if there's any new changes that we need.
Yep. And Patrick has tip number 3 for us.
Yes, number 3 is to make sure that you get on social media. Social media is a really big part of the world right now. So whether it's Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, even Pinterest, you want to have some type of social presence. This is how customers are going to find you, and your new customers are going to find you as well. A lot of times, even you have plans with your wife and she says, we're going to go to Lowe's. A lot of times I will check social media and see what kind of food trucks are going to be in the area, or if there's any other events that I can go to tied to having to run the errand.
Yeah, a lot of business owners don't think about their social, and your reach is also a currency.
Right.
When you have the ability to have those followers and reach out when you've got specials or something going on, don't discount your existing followers and friends on Facebook, including those people that you have personally on Facebook.
Right.
We recently launched a new brand from one of our companies, and the social aspect of our personal accounts came into play there to help get the word out and get some beta testers for that tech.
Yeah, and so, I know that social media sometimes can feel like daunting. We're not saying that you need to be posting like every single day, but making it a point to, like you said, post your specials, or maybe even giving people some behind the scenes, or things of that nature, or even a meme, that relates to your business.
Yep. And the next tip is work on your logo branding and how you look when you're out in the marketplace. Today, so much of that is going to be on the side of a Sprinter van if you're a mobile service company, on the side of the food truck. Doesn't mean you have to spend $10,000 on a wrap. I've actually heard people spending $30,000 on wraps for trucks. That's outrageous. That's a lot to output. If you have a white vehicle and you put even just black lettering of who you are and a little bit of graphics on it to help identify that you're in the place, that means that becomes an asset and you're advertising all the time. Especially if you're something that's going out to an office park or driving around town. If you're ever in a situation where you're driving that vehicle around at 25 miles an hour, think of it as like a moving billboard, and make sure that the appearance of the vehicle is good.
Right.
Now, I will say we have had a food truck or two whose appearance is far from appealing, but go back to tip number one.
Right.
If the food is there, the food and service are popping, you're going to be successful.
Right.
So, and then that's, a very important piece there is just to make sure that you're trying to have both things look as good as possible. That's kind of a win-win.
Right. And like you said, you're building. So what you are doing in the beginning of your business, you have to do what is going to be cost effective and make sense for you. So like you said, if you have the white van, the black lettering is great.
Yep.
But after a while, when you become more popular, you'll upgrade and change your logos and do the things that can
look a little more pro.
Right. Absolutely.
And if you don't have money to logo up a dedicated vehicle, magnets on the side of your vehicle, a couple $100,
right,
work very well. You can use your car that you drive to your day job, and when it becomes time for the side hustle, whip them out and put them on the side of the vehicle, and now you're in hustle mode.
Love that side hustle.
Yep. So, Patrick, what's tip number 5?
Tip number 5 is knowing your audience. When you're starting whatever type of business, in your mind you have who you want to sell to or whatnot, but you got to find out where these people are, where they reside, because you're going to be talking to them, you're going to be advertising to them. So it's important to have some understanding about where they're going to be and gain some of that information analytics. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Donnie Duxon. Donnie Duxon had an idea for a boiled potato truck. When he was younger, he went to his aunt's house and they had boiled potatoes, and that's like his favorite food. So he thought it would be a great idea to have a food truck that just sold boiled potatoes, and it would have some toppings, and he was super excited about it. And what he did was he joined a couple of Facebook foodie groups to get some information. So he posted about his idea, and the feedback he got was his idea was unique, but it wasn't something that people were going to go to get. The foodies really weren't interested in it. They weren't as passionate about boiled potatoes as Donnie was.
So they hadn't tasted it either.
They hadn't tasted it, but he
But they're making a first impression
right
off of something they haven't tasted.
Right. He also thought it was going to be a slam dunk. He thought, like, it's boiled potatoes. Like, who doesn't love boiled potatoes?
Right.
So Donnie went back to the drawing board, and he thought about his second favorite food, which was fries. He went back to the groups, talked about a concept, got some better feedback, and that is how Donnie's duck truck was born. Now he's one of the hottest trucks in the state. Everybody loves his duck fries and the burgers or whatnot. So it just goes to show you that a little bit of research could lead you to a successful path.
Correct. Yeah. Yep. And that brings up, our bonus tip. So it's not tip number 6, it's the bonus tip, which is the Facebook groups.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of pluses and minuses to them. Almost every area you're going to have a locals group, and it could be that you've got 2,000 to 20,000 people in that group that are active into it.
Right.
The appeal of that is going to be, I'm going to blast out to that group all the time. Well, guess what? You're going to be banned because there's administrators, and you're going to think you're going to have your message out there, but nobody's going to see it. So what you really need to do on this is join the groups, watch the cadence and how people are doing on it. And you'll find in a lot of these groups, the admins, they're dictators. It's just how it is. And a lot of times some of these groups are run by some realtors, because that's a very hot field, especially here in the Southeast at the moment. The realtors have got all the time and incentive to be the administrators of those groups.
Right.
What you need to do is, for every one post you do to try to get business, you need to give 5 posts where you're providing free advice, free information, and helping somebody else out.
Right.
So what you want to do is you want to give this much to the group and take this much. And that's how you're going to be successful on the Facebook groups. So if you've got, items that you can do to give, if you know of a blood drive, if you know of a food pantry collection, if you know of something going on that people are not going to be upset about being posted on there, if it falls into the normal cadence of it, that works. Or answering people's questions. Does anybody know this? Right. Now, where your opportunity becomes in, does anybody know of a great boiled truck? No. No, because Donnie now sells duck fat fries.
Absolutely.
So you could say, well, we knew of one. It wasn't all that great, but now he serves duck fat fries, and that's how you interject in and can now get business off of the Facebook group. But you got to give more than you receive from the Facebook groups, and that's our bonus tip of the day.
Absolutely.
So, and we do have a request for everybody watching this. This is kind of a newer format for us. Mm-hmm. We do request that you go hit the like and subscribe buttons down here. Yeah. And if there's a topic you would like us to cover, if you find value in this topic, please put it in the comments. We will respond to your comments. We want to hear from you.
Please.
We've actually came up with 5 tips here, but we've got about 25 tips that we could give. We just want to know what we can do to help out you guys with the mobile businesses. Thank you.